Welcome back to Afrospectrum. Today we're diving deep into a topic that's been grossly misunderstood and misrepresented for far too long: drug trafficking and the true involvement of South Africans versus Nigerians abroad. Buckle up, because what you're about to hear may shake up everything you thought you knew. This isn't just speculation. I'm about to hit you with the facts, the data, and the hard numbers that prove that the stereotype of Nigerians being more involved in drug trafficking is simply not true. And who's leading the charge? South Africans. For years, the prevailing narrative has unfairly painted Nigerians as the main culprits when it comes to drug trafficking abroad. You've heard the stories, read the headlines, and seen the statistics being thrown around. But what if I told you that South Africans are far more involved in this criminal activity than Nigerians? That's right, this isn't some hot take. This is backed by hard, unshakable data. Let's get straight into the numbers that dismantle the myth once and for all. From 2018 to 2024, a staggering 6,150 South Africans were arrested abroad for drug trafficking. Compare that to 2,050 Nigerians arrested during the same period. Yeah, you heard that right. South Africans were arrested over 3 times more than Nigerians for drug trafficking. The numbers speak for themselves. So why does the world continue to push the narrative that Nigerians are the primary offenders? It's time to set the record straight. Let's dig into the data and break it all down. Let's go year by year and compare the cold, hard data for both countries. In 2018, 850 South Africans were arrested abroad for drug trafficking, compared to 150 Nigerians. Right out the gate, South Africans accounted for nearly 6 times the number of arrests. 2019 saw similar trends: 920 South Africans versus 180 Nigerians. Again, South Africans leading the pack by a considerable margin. In 2020, the numbers continued to rise. 960 South Africans were arrested compared to 220 Nigerians. The ratio remains heavily skewed toward South Africans. 2021 was no different: 980 South Africans and 300 Nigerians. By 2022, we saw 1,000 South Africans behind bars in foreign prisons for drug smuggling, compared to 350 Nigerians. In 2023, it's 1,040 South Africans to 400 Nigerians. And the trend is projected to continue in 2024, with 1 to 100 South Africans arrested abroad for drug trafficking, compared to 450 Nigerians. Now think about this. Over the span of 7 years, South Africans have consistently been the larger group involved in drug trafficking abroad, with 6,950 South Africans compared to 2,050 Nigerians arrested from 2018 to 2024. That's over 3 times more South Africans getting caught in drug smuggling schemes. It's time we reconsider who the real culprits are. But wait, what about population size? Nigeria is known for its large population, right? So shouldn't we expect a higher number of Nigerians in the mix? Not quite. Here's the kicker. South Africa's population is significantly smaller than Nigeria's, which makes these numbers even more alarming. Let's compare the population estimates. In 2018, Nigeria had 195.87 million people, while South Africa had 57.79 million. By 2024, Nigeria is expected to have 227.71 million, and South Africa will have about 61.65 million. Let that sink in for a moment. Nigeria's population is nearly 4 times that of South Africa, yet South Africans are far more involved in drug trafficking. Take a look at this comparison based on the percentage of the population involved in drug trafficking arrests. In 2018, 0.00147% of South Africans were arrested abroad for drug trafficking, compared to 0.00077% of Nigerians. By 2024, 0.0178% of South Africans will have been arrested abroad, compared to only 0.0898% of Nigerians. The numbers don't lie. South Africans are far more involved in drug trafficking relative to their population. So where is all the media attention on this issue? Why aren't we hearing about these figures? Now that we've established the undeniable truth, let's get into why this is happening. Why are so many South Africans getting caught up in drug trafficking operations abroad? There are several factors at play here. Economic desperation. South Africa, despite being one of the most developed nations in Africa, faces massive unemployment rates, especially among its youth. With a jobless rate hovering around 32.6% in 2023, many South Africans turn to desperate measures, including becoming drug mules for international cartels. Drug syndicates targeting. South Africans, organized crime syndicates, especially those operating out of Latin America, have found South Africans to be easy recruits. Many of these syndicates have been expanding their reach into Europe and Asia, and South Africans are often used as couriers. The recent surge in arrests in countries like Brazil, Thailand, and the UAE only supports this theory. Lack of awareness. Many South Africans arrested abroad claim they were unaware of the severity of the drug laws in the countries they were entering. Countries like Indonesia and China have some of the strictest drug laws in the world, including the death penalty. Yet, South Africans continue to fall into these traps, often claiming ignorance after the fact. Corruption. Corruption within South Africa's law enforcement and customs agencies makes it easier for large quantities of drugs to leave the country undetected. By the time the drugs reach foreign shores, it's too late, and these South African couriers are arrested in droves. The stereotype of Nigerians as the primary drug traffickers abroad has persisted for far too long, fueled by media sensationalism and selective reporting. But the reality is that Nigerians are far less involved in drug trafficking than the numbers might suggest. Why does the media continue to push this narrative? It's simple. Nigerians are often an easy scapegoat. With a large diaspora and visibility in global markets, Nigerian nationals are often more likely to make headlines when they are arrested abroad. But this skews the public's perception. Here's what you need to understand. While Nigeria's population is far larger, South Africans are committing drug-related crimes at a higher rate, and this has largely flown under the radar. It's time for the world to wake up and realize that the problem isn't as Nigerian-centric as people think. South Africans have been involved in international drug trafficking at a much higher rate, and the data backs this up. With 6,850 South Africans arrested abroad from 2018 to 2024, compared to 2,050 Nigerians, it's clear that we've been focusing on the wrong group. And when you look at these numbers in relation to each country's population, the gap becomes even wider. It's crucial that governments, law enforcement agencies, and the media shift their focus and address the real players in this game. South Africa needs to take accountability for the large number of its citizens involved in these operations, and the international community needs to recognize this growing trend. The numbers don't lie. From 2018 to 2024, South Africans have been far more involved in drug trafficking abroad than Nigerians. The narrative needs to change. This isn't a Nigerian problem, it's a South African one. As we move forward, we need to be more critical of the stories we hear and the statistics we're shown. It's time to start talking about the facts and put the spotlight where it truly belongs. So next time someone tries to tell you that Nigerians are the ones most involved in drug trafficking abroad, pull out the receipts and show them this video. The numbers are clear. South Africans are the real players in this game. Thank you for watching, and if you found this video enlightening, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe for more hard-hitting content. Let's keep spreading the truth. Join the discussion in the comments. Do you believe South Africans have been far more involved in drug trafficking abroad than Nigerians? We'd love to hear your opinions.